Okay, welcome once again. I'm Kieran Foley with Looksee TV on the web at looksee.tv, also part of marketsnag.com. And I want to give a quick shout out to our friends at TCVN, Tech Coast Venture Network here in Southern California at tcvn.org. Today is the second in a three-part series that we're calling Ready, Aim, Fire with Pete Taranto, who is an independent consultant, marketing consultant, and part of the MarketSnag team as well. Pete, welcome back.
Thank you, Kieran. How are you?
Terrific, terrific. So last segment, we talked a little bit about the Ready component in your Ready, Aim, Fire system. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the AIM component. And again, these are some of the critical errors that entrepreneurs make when considering to start or running their businesses. So let's get right into it. What is the AIM portion of?
Well, the AIM portion is the marketing function within a company. And large companies have the luxury of having an entire department dedicated to marketing. It's called a marketing organization, and they do a lot of different things. But small companies and entrepreneurs don't have that luxury. So what they really want to do is focus on, well, what is marketing and how does that differ from sales? And they are different. And that's one of the major mistakes that entrepreneurs and small businesses make, is they continue to blend marketing and sales. And you might be able to have people do both activities, but the activities and responsibilities really need to be distinct. And with respect to marketing, when we say aim, it's taking aim at where I'm going to do business. It's the market segments that I'm going to operate in. It's understanding, how do I stack up against the competition that's already in that segment? What is the profitability of that segment? What is my message to that specific segment? What is my value proposition? I think a lot of times companies focus on the internal message. It's the product, it's the service. And what most people want to hear is, what's the solution to my problem? And so if I'm in a financial sector or a medical care sector or a manufacturing sector, how does my solution solve the problems of those clients in those particular sectors?
And this can be especially true in the engineering world or software world, where we design a solution that's so complex and has all these bells and whistles. We just love to get right in there and create listings and laundry lists of features. But what you're talking about, though, is really tailoring that message to the benefit.
Absolutely. And when you are making a call, and we'll get more into that in the sales segment, which is the fire segment. That's the sales organization, and they're the fire. They're hitting the target. But when you talk about aiming, and you take aim at something, and you use a scope, you have crosshairs. And when you get your target in that crosshair, you're refining your vision. And that's what I talk about with marketing. You need to refine your vision. Where does your product really fit in a particular segment?
And I would anticipate that this is really important too, given what we talked about in the last segment with regards to financials. And that is to say that if you don't refine that aim correctly, you could run out of money a lot faster.
Absolutely. Because you might be printing materials, distributing materials, having people call on clients that are not your optimum client. And the marketing organization should help the salesperson identify what is a real opportunity and taking a prospect to an opportunity. And that's another function of marketing. That's what marketing should help a company do.
Now, you mentioned a blended role a little while ago. The idea that the same person might be able to do both sales and marketing functions. In your experience, have you found this to be the exception rather than the rule?
In small companies, it's more like the rule rather than the exception. And in small companies, most people will do 2 or 3 different things. And what you find is in small companies, and I'm sure you and I have found ourselves in that position as well, where You'll come in as a marketing consultant and people will ask you to do sales things, sales functions to
Sure.
help them. Um, and that's okay, you can do it. But marketing really is doing things like creating a SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for a particular target market. You don't want to waste a salesperson's time sitting down doing that, but it's critical to understand what are your strengths with respect to a particular target market. Where are you weak? And how do you make yourself stronger and eliminate those weaknesses? What are the real opportunities for that segment? And what are the real threats? And it's not just necessarily competition. It could be government regulation. It could be a lack of your ability to scale. If you had a big order, and that kind of ties back to our financial segment, understanding your true costs of goods sold. So these things really go hand in hand.
Everything
But
always comes back down to money in the end.
yeah, it
Yep.
really does.
Yep.
But marketing is the portion in the organization that helps you look at a particular target, understand that target. How do you match against your competition? What is your real value to that particular segment? And that leads me right to your value proposition. What is your value proposition when you look at a target market? And I'm going to introduce a new concept called an initial benefit statement. When you meet someone for the first time, what is the first thing that you want them to know about your company? Most people say, oh, we have the greatest widget in the world, the greatest piece of software, and here's 3 reasons why. When your initial benefit statement should be, what is the benefit that this client will derive from doing business with you? Why should they do business with you versus someone else, your competitor? And that's where marketing comes into play. Marketing is responsible to come up with those messages for that particular segment.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right. In the next segment, we're going to be covering the fire step. So once we've got our financials in place, we understand who we're aiming at and what messaging we're going to apply to that. We're actually going to go after them. Pete, as always, thank you very much, and we look forward to having you in the next segment.
Thank you, Kieran. Take care.
Take care.